Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glories due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash, giving double honors to the apostles, bishops, and all this great millstone who rule and teach well. And last but not least, I want to give my peace, blessings, and citations to the elect, starting with you believers, the men, women, and children, helpers of the prophets, right? And also you fellow laborers out there, you prophets, and you teachers that make their bodies as a living sacrifice to you all. I say shalom, wherever it may be located, and may the blessing of election be upon you. Imagine and your household. Shalom to the hopeful elect. This lesson is going to be inspired by Elder Apostle Hart's video. He did a response, on that woman that attacked IUIC Montana, which I'm surprised to see that there's an IUIC camp in Montana. And he was going into about you have a lot of Gadites up there in those particular regions, which he is right on that. Now, when you go into that region, I have to show you a map. And then I'm going to go ahead and play that 5-minute video, right? When you go into the history, right, of the Métis people, they are quite distinct, right, from what you will call the First Nations, which the First Nations are the people that dwell, they're Gadites that dwell in southern and central Canada. All right, they're not the Inuits or part of the Inuit groups, which the Inuits are Israelites as well. But the Inuits, they dwell in northern parts of Canada. I'd even go into Greenland, some places in Denmark, right, in those Arctic cold subregions of the world, okay, in the Western Hemisphere. But the Métis people, right, they are a bit different from the First Nations and the Inuits, because when you go into the word Métis, it actually means mixed, right? But we know, according to the scriptures, that nobody's really mixed. And the reason why they gave them this term is because the Métis were pretty much a community of French settlers and Indians who settled in the region. Now, something that you guys are not aware of or don't know is that during the French-Indian Wars, the French were known as the nicest of all the Europeans that came to colonize the Americans. And the reason why I say that is because the French actually, for the most part, not all of them, you had devils among them, right? But the French Europeans were building trading posts. They were circulating money within the Gadite communities, right? The villages. They looked at the tribe of Gad as, how do I say it? As equal, right? As a business partner, not somebody who they can subjugate. You know, they didn't come in the spirit of Cristobal Colon. That's what I'm trying to get at. Just how the British, they came here, they reneged treaties, and they treated the Indians like shit, and same with the Americans. The French were known for honoring their agreements. They were known for mingling with the Indian tribes, learning their languages, and also essentially protecting them, right? Teaching them the language, learning their language, right? The Indian languages, and just trading culture and different artifacts amongst them. right? That's why in the French Indian War, uh, you had the French, right? They call it the French Indian War because the Indians sided with the French. And the French Indian War was the French against the British. It was the French and the British against the Americans, right? And the Americans end up winning because Britain was occupied in a whole different war. And then the French, right, they lost the war as well. And that's what caused the French to become bankrupt, okay? But the Indians sided with the French. Okay, they didn't like the British, but only because of the French, they sided with the French. So that's what took place. Okay, so you have what is called the Métis people. Let's go to the Chat GBT and read a few things about it. It says the Métis people are one of the three recognized indigenous groups in Canada alongside the First Nations and Inuit. All right. So the First Nations are like the Gadites that live in southern and central Canada. There are a lot of tribal Native Americans, right? Let's see. Canada tribal map. Yep. So this is the First Nation. Right. So these are what you would call the First Nations. Okay. Okay. The Dainza. All these different tribes to make up the tribe of Gad. And then when you get further up, the ones that end with Inu, Nu, or IUT, they are the Inuits. Okay? These are the different Inuit groups. They dwell mainly in the northern region of Canada. This is history you should know. You know. The reason why I know this is because I love the tribe of Gad. You know. If I had a choice, if I wasn't born a Levi, I would choose to be born a Gadite. That's just my personal preference. But yeah, this is a clear picture. You can see, all right, these are the Inuits, and these right here will be called the First Nation.